Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming tonight, and thanks for passing the parking challenge portion of the evening. And there's plenty of seats down here if you'd like to come down in front. So if you'd like Wi-Fi, if you would like to tweet about this or tweet away. The hashtag is Montessori GRPS. That's how you get on the network. I'll leave that up. I'm Matt Patulski, and I want to thank you all for coming, and we're going to get the show going here. This event tonight, the Montessori Community Meeting, I'm just going to say it. I'm nervous, and I don't know why. Sometimes I'm really good at this, sometimes I'm not. So,
because all of your admiring fans are here.
Now you're making me blush. So anyway, thank you all for coming. That helped a lot. Just so you know, there's water and fruit outside. If you'd like, feel free to step up and get some at any time. On your welcome. On your seats, you see these. If you'd like, there's pens in the back on your way out the door. Fill one out. It tells us how well this is working as an event, an awareness event, that sort of thing. There's also a URL on here if you just want to fill it out, take it home, fill it out online. It will tell Montessori GR if we should be doing more of these and how frequently and what kind. And then to answer that question, what is Montessori GR? Real quickly, we are, and how's that different than GR Montessori or GRPS Montessori or just plain Montessori? About a year and a half ago, we started organizing ourselves to promote the consultant effort for the Montessori High School, and we helped test community awareness and interest at that time. Some of you may have been donors for funds for the consultants to come into town. You may have attended one of our community events last spring, or maybe you came to see Trevor Eisler last fall. We're going to try to keep doing these kinds of general awareness events every few months based on community interest. So that's who we are. A bit of, and we're all just the same parents you see at the schools. We're 3 or 4 Montessori parents, some volunteers. It's just a community effort to promote Montessori education in the public schools. Let me get my notes. Real quick, a couple pieces of housekeeping. I want to thank a few people who've come tonight. We've got a couple of Board of Education officers here. Jane Geetson, Tony Baker, I see. Also, we have our all of our principals are here. In addition to Ms. Jones, we have Robin Swords from North Park, and Dustin Gill is somewhere in the house, in the back row. So thank you for coming out, and also thank you to our teachers. There's a number of teachers here tonight, and I want to thank them. At the end of the day, it doesn't work without our teachers. So, being a community event, I've got a couple of housekeeping things I want to share. Right after this event, our seniors, Montessori seniors, are having a fundraiser at a restaurant out on 28th Street, Cuccello's. Yes. Exactly. There's a flyer. If you'd like to go, it's until 9 o'clock. Your purchases go towards their senior trip, I think. There's flyers out on the table. There's also flyers for a fundraiser at North Park. A week from tonight, East Grand Rapids is hosting an event with our local legislators about education funding and reform. There's a flyer for that as well. So I would encourage you all to go. There'll be representatives at that event from all of KISD, East Grand Rapids, Northview, Forest Hills, GRPS, as well as East Grand Rapids. So those are the, oh, and the other thing too, if you are interested, we still have books from Trevor Eisler, and we also have DVDs of the event. Those will be for sale on the way out the door. And those sales help pay for these kinds of events. So thank you. The format for tonight, I'm going to stop talking, and then Miss Jones, Nikki Jones, is going to come up and give about a 15-minute update on all the work that a lot of people have been doing for the last year on the Montessori program. And she's going to show some slides. Take about 15 minutes to do that, to give context to our program. And then the superintendent, Superintendent Neal, has graciously given some of her time to come here and share her vision for the district. And then we're just going to have a conversation for half an hour or so, ask questions. I'll walk around with the mic, and we'll just go from there. This is about sharing information. So are you ready, Nikki? Please start. Here's the clipboard.
Hello. Okay. Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight. I want to thank Matt and Montessori GR for inviting me to talk about Montessori in Grand Rapids Public Schools. Thank you to you. I also want to thank you, the parents in the community, for being here tonight and joining in the conversation about Montessori in Grand Rapids Public Schools. So I was asked to talk about some of the work that's been going on for Montessori in Grand Rapids Public Schools, but first I want to talk about what my mission is as the Grand Rapids Montessori coordinator and what my work looks like. I work to ensure quality education for all Montessori students in Grand Rapids Public Schools. That's a big statement. It's huge. So what does that mean? For me, that means I've set a goal of high student achievement. And when we think about student achievement, we don't just think about test scores. As Montessorians, we think about the whole child. We think about the academic, the social, and the emotional needs of the child, and meeting all of those needs. So the whole child. Maria Montessori said that we seek to sow life in the child rather than theories, to help him in his endeavor to grow mentally, emotionally, as well as physically. So tonight, when I talk about student achievement, I don't just want you to think I'm talking about test scores. It's about the whole child. Richard Elmore, I don't know if any of you are familiar with him, his work at Harvard University, he's a professor. He says there are 3 ways to improve academic achievement for students. That first way is to increase the knowledge and the skills of the teachers. We think about content, math, science, social studies, language arts, science. We also think about practical life and grace and courtesy as Montessorians. We also need to affect the content. And when we talk about content, we talk about the curriculum and also the environment, and how the Montessori environment has the content and the curriculum there for the child to delve into, to work with, and to grow and to learn. We also need to alter the relationship between students, the teachers, and the content. What that means is that we can't focus on just the teacher and improving the skills. We must ensure that the environment and the content is ready and that there's a connection. Without the environment, the teacher cannot teach. And without the skills, if you drop a teacher into an environment to teach where they don't have Montessori training, then they don't have the skills, or they don't have the content available to them. The environment isn't ready. So you can't have one without the other. You need all 3 to have a successful program. So how do we do that? Did I mention I was nervous? That I am. So first, I had to think about unifying the Montessori programs. That's what we're doing. Partnership with the MAC, parent volunteers, our teachers, our students, and it's a community, really. So we want to increase program-wide pre-K 12 collaboration. And how do we do that? We've been doing that through shared professional development, and that's going to continue between both campuses. Also, peer coaching and mentoring is occurring across campuses and across grade levels. We also want to share ideas and resources. What's some of the wonderful things that are happening at Grand Rapids Montessori, we just don't want to keep them to ourselves. We want to share it with our Montessori community and vice versa. And that's what we've been doing. My major focus, I've been doing a lot of work in lots of areas, but the major focus this year is to work on the 7th and 8th grade program. When you think about the teacher and the connection to the content and the environment, this is an exciting time. Grand Rapids Public Schools has committed $50,000 to training the teachers. We're sending 2 middle school teachers, 3 high school teachers, and 2 administrators to Montessori training this summer. This is a wonderful thing. Yes, definitely. We're very excited about that. So again, Maria Montessori, in her wisdom, she said that the training of the teacher is something far more than a learning of ideas. It includes the training of character. It is the preparation of the spirit. And as a trained Montessori teacher, that is so true. I mean, the teachers here, you all understand that. I remember my first year teaching. I taught a half a year at North Park Traditional. I did a split. And those Montessori teachers were down the hall doing those crazy things that Montessori teachers do. But at the end of the year, Carol Davis, who was the principal at that time, she came to me and she said, "Miss Nikki," in her way, and she's a wonderful, graceful person, so, and I respect her. She said, "We want you to join our Montessori team. We'd like you to go to training for the summer and then come back and teach a first, second, third grade classroom." I said, "Oh, that sounds interesting. It's exciting, right? I'll go home and I'll talk it over with my family and we'll see what we can do." When she left, I thought, I'm barely getting by teaching 2 grade levels, math, science, social studies, language arts. How can I do that with 3 grade levels? Okay, but I came back and I agreed to do it. Went to training, and I came through training. I was transformed. It's a way of life, Montessori is, and I know that these Montessori teachers are going to come back ready and up to the challenge. So I'm excited about that. Also thinking about middle school and making the connection between students, the content, and the teacher. Next year, our 7th and 8th grade students will be required to do 20 hours of community service each year with the social service agency. 7th and 8th graders also will be offered Spanish as an elective. They can receive high school credit for that. Orientation and camp is under development. Students and teachers will build together a school and a community with shared common values and social cohesion. That piece right there is the student and the teacher connection. Those teachers and those students as adolescents, those teachers really need to connect and form a bond, and this is the time where they can do that. Students will be asked to demonstrate their various skills, become involved in group activities, think about their personal goals and interests, and develop a mission statement and put their skills to work within their community throughout the school year. So thinking about student and content, I'm also very excited about this. We decided to pilot an urban agriculture program. This project actually begins next month on the 23rd. We're partnering with Baxter Community Greenhouse, Food Corps, and the Grand Rapids Montessori Gardening Club. Students will be involved in moving the raised beds, adding organic wide rows, building hoop houses, soil testing, starting seeds, transplanting those plants, and then harvesting. Students will then be encouraged to participate in the business, to be entrepreneurs, where they actually will be selling the seeds and transplants, or actually the starts. And that first sale is going to happen in May with the seeds that they're planting now. We also have a sale coming up that they'll be working on, selling cold season produce, late summer produce in August, and then a program-wide harvest festival run by the students in October. The goal of this program is to produce adults who are equipped with the confidence in themselves and actual skills to live in the real world. So our outcomes. What would we like to see happen after we do all this work and we're hopefully successful and students sign up and teachers go to training and students do their work? What we hope. How will we know we're succeeding? Increased test scores. We hope to see increased test scores. That is a piece that as public schools we need to consider and strive for. Increased student retention. We don't want our students to leave after the 4-year-old program. We don't want our students to leave after 3rd grade. We don't want them to leave at 6th grade. We don't want them to leave at 8th grade. We want them to stay from pre-K all the way through 12th. And we want increased enrollment in our Montessori program because we have faith in our program and we know it works. So Montessori, Grand Rapids Public Schools. I know we will succeed because I have faith in the district, all the district employees, the administrators, the teachers, our students' ability to thrive in the Montessori environment, and the families that support them. So thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. That was great. So now you know where we're going as a program, and as luck would have it, our district also has a new leader who. What's that? Oh, I forgot to acknowledge Wendy Falb is here. Thank you very much. Well, it's okay. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, as luck would have it, we have a leader now who, or divine providence, or whatever you want to call it. We have a new leader, and I'm going to turn the floor over to her, Superintendent Teresa Weather O'Neill.
Ooh, that's quite right. Good evening. Thank you for having me, first of all. I took over this position about 7 weeks ago. It's hard to believe, you guys. Seems like it's 7 years. But it's been an amazing 7 weeks. And I want to first acknowledge the board members that are here. One, for having the courage to pick a superintendent that doesn't fit the usual mold. And I do say courage because most board members would not have done that. I'm a public administrator by trade. I have a master's degree in education. And I've been with the district for 37 years as an employee. But more importantly, I've been with the district since I was 4 years old. I'll be 53 in July. 49 years. So every day of my life, for 49 years, I've been connected to the Grand Rapids Public Schools. Proud to say that I've been connected. I've served in a variety of positions in the last 9 or 10 years as Assistant Superintendent of Community and Student Affairs. I write grants. I was over $60 million in grants for about 10 years. And then longer than that, I've been in Title I. Many of you know Title I for the past 25 years. A little more. Actually, it's 29 years. So I'm very well connected with the State Department grants and standards and so forth. But I'm here tonight to talk about a couple things. One, Montessori, and how that fits into the district's plan. I've been on a listening tour during the past 7 weeks. I have received feedback from well over 1,000 people, and it continues every day. Because I think in order to transform this district, we, citizens in Grand Rapids, we own it. We can do this. We don't need someone from the outside doing this for us. We know what's best for our students and our community. Our focus will be on academic achievement. Nikki talked about that. Richard Elmore, we've been studying with Harvard University for quite some years now, about 6 or 7 years. And he talked about the triangulation between the student, the content, right? It's this exact same thing that we're doing in Montessori. But we're going to take this district-wide. In addition to what we're going to do with Montessori and academic achievement, we are going to focus on changing the culture of this district. It is so very important that we create an atmosphere that is conducive to learning. And many of you know about that in the Montessori program because you get students that choose to come here. And I think just by students, parents making a choice, that says one thing. But we want it across the district. We want it for everyone. The other thing is collaboration. We have got to create a spirit of collaboration. And anyone that knows me knows that that is something that I believe in. That's who I am. I have 9 brothers and sisters, and you don't get very far in life without collaborating, especially when you're towards the bottom. I have 2 under me. So that's just the person that I am, right, working together with people. The 4th thing is professional development. No one would send their children anywhere if they didn't think you were on top of your game. And that's whether it's the teacher, the principal, the custodian, security, it doesn't matter. We all need to be the best that we can be. Parents send us their most precious commodity. And the last thing is accountability. Again, I have 9 brothers and sisters. My dad drew a line in the sand. If it was no on Sunday, it was no on Friday. I never, ever had to guess. Now, I always pushed, but I didn't have to guess. I knew the rules. I made a conscious choice to push them. So that's kind of big picture of where I am. Jane asked Natasha, my daughter Natasha is with me. She's was a Montessori student. Natasha believes in this philosophy as well. So we're going to do a slideshow about Montessori and share kind of my beliefs. It goes back to, Natasha will be 30 years old this year in a couple of months. So I believed in Montessori long ago. And I still believe in Montessori today. Okay? And Tasha's going to work this for me. Tells you a little bit about who I am. You know what? We have these. Thanks, Matt. Thank you. This is who I am. Talk about my background. Told you a little about Natasha. She started with the Montessori program in Grand Rapids, and back then we had to pay for it. So we pay the tuition for Natasha to attend Montessori. She went on to Michigan State University, graduated there, went on to New York Law School, graduated there, passed the bar in New York. I broke my ankle. Tasha came home, and Tasha's still home. She came home to help me. I have 2 children. My husband and I have 2 children, Denisha and Natasha. Been married 35 years. I like to do whatever I'm doing for a long time, you can see. Been married for 35 years. Tash. But Montessori was really interesting when I was looking at the history to know that we started something in 1972 and we're still doing it. How amazing. That speaks to the program, right? I've shared with some of you in this room how we did Southeast Academic Center in the district. Every year there was a change. Every year we had to fight to keep it. And in the end, they closed it down. You know what? And many people said, forget it. You guys stuck with the Montessori, great. Because as you can see, 40 years is a long time for anything in Grand Rapids. So you're doing something right, right? We've seen a lot of changes, but at the end of the day, the philosophy around Montessori hasn't changed, right? We still believe that the environment needs to be created so that we can develop all students. We want to maximize potential. You still believe that. Teacher training. I have committed and put in writing, and the board agrees, 5 years of training, $50,000 a year. It is absolutely absurd that we would have people go out and raise dollars for training for a program that we believe in. Right? We need to do that. So whether I'm in this seat or not, you have it in writing, hold the board to that. You cannot have a program, we, the district, cannot have a program and not invest in the program. Right? We need to commit. So whether I'm here or not, 5 years. Let me tell you a true story of what I do. I have a grandson, CJ. I have certain things that has happened in this district because I love the district that I have at home with a note for him. If I'm in a nursing home 20 years from now, you hold the district to this because it's the right thing to do. You guys, people tend to lose history when you have people that leave. I believe in the Grand Rapids Public Schools. I believe in the programs that we offer. Long after I'm gone, I want someone to hold the district responsible for its children. That includes this Montessori program. So CJ has notes about property that we own. Natasha's a lawyer. I always tell people my lawyer lives in my basement. Because it's important, you guys, teach your children, right? Let them know what we have, what we own, and what they have a right to. We don't want people to come in and take from our children, whether we're here or not. We always said Tasha was a weird kind of kid. She was always different. She always walked to a different beat. It's the truth. I do. You know what? We've always said it. But one of the things that Montessori sparks in children like that is to be who you are. Explore the world. I never in my life would have dreamed that the same child that had me looking for unique clothes, walking the mall in Sears and Roebuck, to only find a plaid suit, and you'll see her in a plaid suit up here. And she said, "That's unique, Mom. That's what I'm talking about." I'm thinking, oh, that's unique. So you have to allow children to have some freedom with boundaries. And that's what the Montessori program does. Tosh is going to talk at this point. Come on, T.
You need a microphone? You do. You do.
I told you she's different.
Yeah, like she said, I'm a lawyer, so I'm used to projecting. I don't think I need a microphone. But that's me. I was 4 years old, I think, with a killer bow tie. That is Kathy Freewind, right there. And like my mom said, I've always been a sort of different child. I marched to my own drum. I sort of did whatever I wanted to do to get it done. And so last year, I actually went around with Ben and Gina when they came. I was their sort of escort, and I showed them around, and I was with them all day. And we talked to the kids, the principals, the staff. We heard a lot of things, but everyone was dedicated to Montessori, and that's what they wanted, dedication to Montessori. They wanted it from the administration. They wanted it from teachers and students, wanted it from each other, and that was really important. And so I think that's what GRPS is working towards right now, is that dedication to Montessori. People think that we're weird. Okay. Thanks. I take that as a compliment. Right. But I think that's sort of, everyone wants that experience. So I think that we can export that to other places and model that in other places, because everyone wants that relationship with the teacher. Everyone wants that trust. Everyone wants the freedom to sort of figure it out for themselves within those confines of whatever we have, whether it's MMC or pacing guides or whatever. But giving kids boundaries and then saying, work inside these boundaries. You know what? You figure it out. If you need some help, I'll help you. But you show me what you can do first, and we'll work together to figure it out. And I think that's what GRPS needs right now, everywhere. Not just in the Montessori program, everywhere. So hopefully you guys are dedicated. I know your teachers are dedicated. Ms. Freeland, I see you. 30. I'm going to be 30 in 2 months. That was 26 years ago. So she looks the same. But that's important, dedication to GRPS, to our students, to our community. If we don't produce the right kinds of productive citizens who are concerned about their community and the world and learning and being educated, what are we going to do? Because at some point, we'll be gone. So we have to instill that. We have to keep going and passing that along. It goes into what Teresa was saying as far as the history and the legacy. We can't forget that. At some point, you guys are going to retire. I know you don't want to. You don't want to retire, but at some point, you might retire. Who's going to carry on that legacy? We have to do it. We have to put these systems in place. We have to foster parents, students, staff, programs. And I think that all of you believe in it to a point where you formed this committee and you're meeting at almost 7 o'clock on, what is today, Wednesday? That shows dedication and commitment. And I think your students feel that. When we were listening to what your students had to say, they loved the Montessori program. But they wanted more of the Montessori program. And I think we're at a point right now where we can give it to them. And we should. I think that's it for now.
We have other pictures. We talk about diversity, right, in the Montessori program. Did you show it? Oh, too bad. We have other pictures, you guys. I'll show you someday. With Natasha, student teacher, and other kids, and them forcing them to hold hands, right? Because it was important 20-some years ago, and it's important now. I want you to know, I don't know how to get this back on. I shouldn't have taken it off. Okay, there we go. I want you to know that I am committed to Montessori. What you're doing here, we need to project that out across the district. We need other parents to be as involved as you are, to care, to show the concern. And I also think they can learn from what you're doing here. So instead of fighting Montessori, we need to embrace Montessori. You are read in the newspaper. Charters are here. You guys, they're here, right? We can't stop them. But what we can do is beat them at their own game. We have great programs. This is a program that will attract people back to the district. We have to do it well. We have to build it and then market the program. This is the deal. We appreciate what you've done. Many people can make choices to leave this district. And I told the principals just today, because I had to deliver bad news. But at the end of the day, people do have choices. We need not fool ourselves and think we are the only game in town. You're not. You're not. So build the best program that you can build, and people will come back. Right? Common sense to me. And I'm off my speech here, and Tosh doesn't want me to do that. We talked about that. Lifelong learners. You know that, right? You know that's what we believe in. Tosh, go to the next one. I talked about that I am dedicated to Montessori, as I am other great programs in the district, whatever it's going to take. Education is the greatest equalizer in the United States of America. And whether it's Montessori, traditional, a COI, City, Blandford Zoo, CA, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we need to prepare children for college and career. I want to thank you because I know it's been rough, but you stuck with us, and you didn't have to. You could have made other choices. I appreciate it. I know it's been rough. I've heard from people that it's been rough, but it's better. It is better now. It will only get better. It will only get better, you guys. It's been 7 weeks. And look at the progress that we've made, not just in Montessori, but across this district. I want you to stay committed. Remember to write it down for your kids, you guys, truly, right? That's our legacy. Leave it, put it in a file box with a note. 20 years from now, this is what we own in GRPS.